Resignation letter of Jogendranath Mondal.
Jogendranath Mandal was a Dalit Hindu Namashudra leader of East Bengal. He was a supporter of Pakistan's demand during partition. He said that Dalit Hindus would be better off coexisting with Muslims in Pakistan. As a reward for his work, he got the post of law minister in the newly independent Pakistan. He assured Dalit Hindus that Dalit will not have to leave Pakistan as refugees and go to India. If he ever had to leave the country and take refuge in India, he would send all the Dalits safely to India and go to India himself on the last train. But within a few days the Hindus in East Bengal were attacked by the Muslims. His very life was endangered by the Muslim attack. In this situation he escaped from Pakistan and took refuge in India and resigned from the ministry. In his resignation letter, he detailed the communal atrocities on Hindus in Pakistan at that time. His resignation letter is given below.
Resignation letter of Jogendranath Mandal. Resignation letter. Written by Jogendranath Mandal in 1950. Jogendranath Mandal wrote this resignation letter to the Prime Minister of Pakistan Liaquat Ali Khan. My dear Prime Minister, it is with a heavy heart and a sense of utter frustration at the failure of my lifelong mission to uplift the backward Hindu masses of East Bengal that I feel compelled to tender resignation of my membership of your cabinet. It is proper that I should set forth in detail the reasons which have prompted me to take this decision at this important juncture of the Indo-Pakistani subcontinent. It is to share just a truth. 1. Before I narrate the remote and immediate causes of my resignation, it may be useful to give a short background of the important events that have taken place during the period of my cooperation with the League. Having been approached by a few prominent League leaders of Bengal in February 1943, I agreed to work with them in the Bengal Legislative Assembly. After the fall of the Fazlul Haq ministry in March 1943, with a party of 21 scheduled caste M.L.A.S., I agreed to cooperate with Khwaja Natsimuddin, the then leader of the Muslim League Parliamentary Party who formed the cabinet in April 1943. Our cooperation was conditional on certain specific terms, such as the inclusion of 3 scheduled caste ministers in the cabinet, sanctioning of a sum of Rs 5 lakhs as annual recurring grant for the education of the scheduled castes, and the unqualified application of the communal ratio rules in the matter of appointment to government services. 2. Apart from these terms, the principal objectives that prompted me to work in cooperation with the Muslim League was, first, that the economic interests of the Muslims in Bengal were generally identical with those of the scheduled castes. Muslims were mostly cultivators and laborers, and so were members of the scheduled castes. One section of Muslims were fishermen, so was a section of the scheduled castes as well, and secondly that the scheduled castes and the Muslims were both educationally backward. I was persuaded that my cooperation with the League and its ministry would lead to the undertaking on a wide scale of legislative and administrative measures which, while promoting the mutual welfare of the vast bulk of Bengal's population, and undermining the foundations of vested interest and privilege, would further the cause of communal peace and harmony. It may be mentioned here that Khwaja Natsimuddin took 3 scheduled caste ministers in his cabinet and appointed 3 parliamentary secretaries from amongst the members of my community. Suhrawardy Ministry. 3. After the general elections held in March 1946, Mr. H.S. Suhrawardy became the leader of the League Parliamentary Party in March 1946 and formed the League Ministry in April 1946. I was the only scheduled caste member returned on the Federation ticket. I was included in Mr. Suhrawardy's cabinet. The 16th day of August of that year was observed in Calcutta as the Direct Action Day by the Muslim League. It resulted, as you know, in a holocaust. Hindus demanded my resignation from the League ministry. My life was in peril. I began to receive threatening letters almost every day. But I remained steadfast to my policy. Moreover, I issued an appeal through our journal Jagaran to the scheduled caste people to keep themselves aloof from the bloody feud between the Congress and the Muslim League even at the risk of my life. I cannot but gratefully acknowledge the fact that I was saved from the wrath of infuriated Hindu mobs by my caste Hindu